Our presentation outlines the production of geographical knowledge through research. We conducted an interview with senior lecturer Matt Finn to learn more about his research in education. We then used this as a form of case study to outline how human geographers do research and what this means for producing contemporary geographical knowledge. Our presentation will be broken into 3 sections. Section 1 addresses how research is conducted in human geography through the lens of Matt Finn's work, in which we look at his interview style and ideology. Then Section 2 covers the influence of Matt Finn's research on the production of contemporary geographical knowledges, while Section 3 draws together all the material discussed through our concluding ideas.
Matt Finn is a human geographer working in the field of geographies of education and childhood, whose research includes his PhD, Atmospheres of Progress in a Database School, which details how the use of data in schools has progressed over time, presenting material from pupils whose voices are absent in existing literature. This example illustrates the first step in producing research, in identifying an area of geographical knowledges where there is a gap in research or in which further study is necessary. Matt Finn told us that research begins with existing knowledge, so after you have identified a gap in existing research, you must read around the area to gain a deeper understanding of the current geographical debate. The primary aims of the research can then be established, in which the researcher decides on their focus. Finn asserts that in order to advance pre-existing research in a specific area, the primary aims must be original, which means he tends to draw on his own ideas to create a new progressive research aims. His own research looks to provide a geographical approach to understanding education and learning, giving a necessary geographical perspective to an area of study often addressed by other areas of expertise. The planning and finalisation of the research and questions is then vital. Matt Finn, beyond his own academic writing, has additionally published a video from Clive Barnett that asserts designing and formulating research questions that are answerable as the most essential step in the production of meaningful research. A profound and justified choice of research question is also important, as he will have to seek approval and funding for his research based on his questions before proceeding. After receiving this approval, he is able to conduct his data collection. The primary data collection for his data in education paper was collected through interviews with both students and teachers. He additionally utilised data from the government on grades to assess a change in pupil performance in examinations before analysing and presenting his data findings, a vital final step for explaining and drawing together his research.
Human geographers use a variety of fieldwork techniques and data collection methods. Matt Finn's research in schools centres around interaction with staff and students, particularly using interviews. His paper explored different statistics on grades and school performance and used conversations with staff and students to collect data. Another paper co-written by Matt Finn says their research uses structured conversations, existing literature, and their particular vantage points. These highlight that data collection must be carefully tailored to the context and content of the research, as well as acknowledging the fact that the vantage point of a researcher greatly impacts the interpretation of their data, and therefore the research itself. Matt Finn's research looking into data handling in school environments in itself provides an analytical look at methodology and uses of collected data. Once he has conducted interviews, methods to process this qualitative data are then employed, making use of his material towards research objectives to identify patterns or correlation.
Within Matt Finn's work, he interviews both adults and children. While speaking to him, he highlighted how important it is to know your audience. This is important when adapting your interview style towards children, especially when formulating questions. Matt Finn ensures that the questions he asks to children are not too complicated. He also designs questions that are both open and closed. Jill Valentine's work stresses the importance of open and closed questions as they encourage fluidity within the interview, which results in more natural answers. Whilst working with children, Matt Finn stressed the importance of making them feel comfortable and safe in the interview environment. He visits the schools he works with beforehand, spending time with students in lessons. This ensures that the students are familiar with Matt before the interviews and helps to create a trusting environment. This links to work by Flowerdew and Martin, in which they stress that the interview setting can influence how participants react. By creating a suitable and safe interview environment, participants feel more comfortable in communicating their ideas. This links to the importance of power relations between the researcher and interview participants. Longhurst argues that a researcher should be aware of their position of power and include it as part of their research. In the interview, Matt Finn spoke about how researchers become separated from the people they are doing research with. In his interviews, he tries to ensure that his participants feel like equals. He highlighted how the idea of partnership is key to his research, which then leads us to the importance of the participatory action ethos.
When we asked Matt Finn about the meaning of the participatory action ethos, he described it as a research that is done with people, not on people. When further investigating the style of research, we discovered Craig McGarvey's argument that states that participatory action is a key tool for evaluation, particularly for producing evidence about an ongoing process of change, as well as promoting learning among the people closest to the change. This ethos emphasises collaboration and active involvement of stakeholders in all stages of their research. We can see the importance of this in how Matt Finn does research about data use in education, as he acknowledges diverse perspectives to generate more representative research. From this, he can generate more relevant and useful knowledge by targeting those who are directly impacted by the research. And finally, he is able to empower those who he researches, as their opinions are being recognised and appreciated. This approach is particularly important for research in geography, as it recognises the important role that power relations play within interviews. Ensuring that interview participants feel equal within the interview process is key to ethical research. We then turn to look at how Matt Finn's work influences the production of contemporary geographical knowledge, particularly focusing on his direct work, how his work influences his teaching, and the future of geographical knowledges. Firstly, Finn considers his research to contribute to a few different subdisciplines: geography of education and childhood, as well as geography of atmospheres and geography of data. So, Finn is involved with producing contemporary geographical knowledge in several subjects within the field. Waterman's 2008 paper recognises that the subject matter of human geography is wide and reflects interests ranging from the purely academic to those of the fundamental belief in politically committed research. Matt Finn's research is an example of the vast subject area of human geography, as modern geographical knowledges cover so much more than the assumed scope of earlier iterations of the subject area. We also saw how Finn aimed his geographical research to reach a range of target audiences, aiming certain papers specifically towards academics, whilst also publishing work that is more accessible for readers with a less detailed understanding. He additionally spoke about how he was interested in expanding the way in which his work is displayed, detailing how he is now interested in a multimedia approach, for example using videos. This could make his work more accessible for certain audiences. He detailed how he had begun this process by infusing a variety of media into his lectures and modules.
This leads us on to the next way in which Matt Finn contributes to the production of contemporary geographical knowledges, which is through his teaching. Matt detailed how his teaching is strongly informed by his research. When composing material for a course, he ensures that the information is up to date to ensure he is relaying contemporary information appropriately. Finn detailed how he enjoyed creating content for modules such as Global Change, where he can use his prior experience to enhance the course for students. In this sense, Finn's work contributes to the production of contemporary geographical knowledge by influencing the next generation of geographers. When asking about the future of geographical knowledge, Finn highlighted how geography is constantly evolving. Geography is becoming more specialised all the time, which means that there is less generalisation of geographical knowledges. Yet Finn stressed the need for discussion between subdisciplines within geography in the future. With new geographical problems arising with climate change, greater conversation must be had between human and physical geographers so they can work in unison to help solve these issues. The production of contemporary geographical knowledges may change in the future, so a greater balance could be seen within the geographical approach to these issues.
To conclude, we have assessed how Matt Finn completes a series of integral steps that form the process of doing research in order to find and creatively fill a gap in pre-existing research and subsequently produce geographical knowledge. Finn's research methodology is recognisably that of a human geographer, but is distinct in that his work with young people in schools pushes the boundaries of contemporary geography in his employment of new approaches such as the participatory action ethos, and has a direct impact in school environments. This contributes to the continuously evolving nature of producing geographical knowledges and as such improves the effectiveness of geography research in enacting change in the wider world. Participatory action, for example, is infinitely valuable in contemporary geographical debates as geography moves away from only entertaining academic voices and literature, such as in Matt Finn's work allowing children to contribute to their own research. Overall, this means production of contemporary geographical knowledges is consistently changing in its methods, its scope, and its focus. This trend will likely continue in the future as human geography as a discipline continues to evolve and as technology improves collection and presentation methods as well as accessibility.